In lesson 12.3, we finally get the probability, where we look at what we want to have happen in the top of the fraction and what could happen in the bottom of the fraction. In number 19, we have Ebony, who has 4 male kittens and 7 female. She picks up 2 of them to give to a friend. Find the probability of each selection. In 19, we're looking at the probability of 2 males. So on top of my fraction, I want the total number of ways I can pick out those 2 male kittens. The order doesn't matter, so it's going to be a combination. And it's a combination where I'm taking 2 of the 4 male kittens. In the bottom of the fraction is my total. So if I pick a kitten, and it doesn't matter if it's male or female. Order, again, does not matter, so it's a combination where I'm taking 2 out of 4 plus 7, 4 male and 7 female, or 11 kittens. Once you have the fraction set up, you can use the formulas to come up with the total, and in this particular case, it is 6 over 55. Number 21 puts a different twist on it. What if I want one of each? So on my first draw, what I'd like to have happen is either 1 male or 1 female. Let's take the males. The order doesn't matter, so I'm taking 1 cat out of 4 males. Then the female kittens, so 1 female out of 7. What do we do to those totals? We multiply them together. On the bottom of my fraction is what could happen. So that's, again, a combination, since order doesn't matter, where I draw out 2 cats from my 11. Once you have the fraction set up, then you use the formulas again, and this one turns out to be 28 out of 55. You could also write your answers as a percent, but not as a decimal, either a reduced fraction or a percent. Next, we're going to move on to some CDs. Bob is moving and all of his CDs are mixed up in a box. 12 CDs are rock, 8 are jazz, 5 are classical. If he reaches in the box and selects them at random, find each probability. Number 22 is the probability of 3 jazz. Doesn't matter the order that I get them, I just want 3 jazz CDs when I'm done. So since the order doesn't matter, it'll be a combination. On top of my fraction is what I want to have happen. So we want 3 jazz CDs to be picked out of the 8 total. On the bottom of the fraction is what could happen. So again, it's a combination where I pick 3 of the CDs, and then I add up all the types of the CDs. So the jazz, the classical, the rock, and I come up with a total of 25. When you're done with the calculation, 22 will give you 14 over 575. This particular problem might be a good one for a percent, but right now I wrote down the fraction answer. 24, what is the probability of 1 classical and 2 jazz? Well, it's kind of like 1 male and 1 female kitten from before. I'll start with the probability of a classical. Order doesn't matter, so it's a combination where I'm choosing 1 of the 5 classical CDs. Then 2 jazz, another combination where I'm taking 2 of the 8 total. What do we do with each number? We multiply them together. The total would still be taking 3 out of 25. Our fraction, when we divide what we want to have happen divided by what could happen, gives me a total of 6 over 115. Now, another way of representing what we want to have happen versus what could happen is looking at the odds of something happening. When we talk about odds, we're comparing the successes versus the failures, where in probability, we're comparing what we want to have happen versus what could happen. So in number 34, I have that the probability of something happening is 1 over 2. The odds then would be 1. That's what we want to have happen, the success. What would the failures be? Well, 2 represents the successes and the failures. So we're comparing it with 2 minus 1, or 1 to 1. 1 chance of it being successful versus 1 chance of it not being successful. That's where the 2 came from. So when I write it as an odd, it's 1 to 1. How do we flip that around? What if I give you the odds of something happening and I want a probability? Then the top of my fraction will be what I want to have happen, which is the 5 successes. The bottom of the fraction will be the total, the 5 successes plus the 6 that I was not successful in. So my probability would be 5 out of 11.